Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I did these Coraline inspired nails. I wanted them to be very 3D, in your face, and just super cartoon-like, and I really love the way they came out, so if you want to see how I did them, just keep on watching. And just for full transparency, this footage is super old. It's from Halloween. These were my Halloween nails. I was the other mother from Coraline for Halloween, and I'm taking off my other just like festive nails for the time. I'll put some pictures up if I can remember. Alright, so I'm going in and drilling off all of that old polish. And I really do love the nail that I'm drilling right now. They are some like blooming gel ghosts, and I think they just came out super cute. Alright, now we can go in and soak them off with some acetone. And while I'm sliding off the rest of those tips, let's take a brief intermission to check out the Silver Star and Jack-o'-lantern nail set that we just soaked off. Next, I'm going in with my Aprés glue and GELLA tips as always. And here we are after the application. Here I'm going in with some base coat just on all 10 of those nails. Next, I'm taking some of this sky blue color and painting my left thumb. And right now I'm just doing the base for my left hand, so my index finger will get this jelly pink. I absolutely love this color, IB072 by Beetles. Then I'm taking a JODSONE dark midnight blue for my middle finger, a light butter yellow for my ring finger, and again that clear jelly pink for my pinky. And I'll copy a very similar pattern on the other hand, just my right thumb will be a little slightly different of a blue. Next I'm going in with a custom blue. I just mixed a little bit of that dark with the lighter one and made like this mid-tone to paint some stripes on our left thumb. Now that that's all done, I'm going to get started on a dark blue French for my index finger. Here for my middle fingers, the dark blue color, I am going to be painting a spiral with that mid-tone blue, and you will see me cut back to this nail quite a few times just to make sure everything's cured in between, because there are a lot of layers for this specific design. And last but not least, some black French for this pinky nail. To accompany that black French, I did go and draw a smile line kind of near the cuticle or like lanula area, just to give it, I don't know, just a little bit more pizzazz, just something different than a normal French. And then here I am drawing some dark midnight blue stripes for that right thumb. And cutting over here to our right hand, everything is pretty much the same except for my index finger. I went with a light pink to represent the pink palace, and our pinky will look similar to the pinky on the other hand. That black French with a black smile line towards the lanula. Time for my personal favorite part, the color mixing. Right now I'm putting down some oranges, greens, and reds for the Coraline striped sweater theme nail. Just to preface, I actually really don't like the way that this nail came out. I think that if I were to try it for a second time, like I would just be a whole lot better now that I'm a little bit more familiar with the technique and like what I want it to look like at the end. I went ahead and put some of that Model 1's base gel and then some orange stripes, let it bloom, cured it, and then I repeated the same process with some base gel and then letting some different color stripes bloom. The reason why I didn't really like this method is because I feel like that all of the colors were really muddy. I don't know if that was my fault picking colors that just didn't blend as well or nicely together. I don't really know, but yeah, this is not my favorite nail. You can see some areas that I tried to clean up by putting some of that butter yellow, like just a clean stripe through it, and it still didn't really look right. Moving on to my index finger on my left hand, I'm doing a similar light blue spiral on top of that dark blue French. Same design as my middle finger, it's just a blue spiral and some 3D gel in between. Now I'm taking one of my favorite Chiara Sky polishes. This is like this glittery purple. I absolutely love it, so stunning. I also own it in the hot pink color. I'm just adding some of that to the spiral. I wiped it off, but I add it back after adding some of that midnight blue. I thought that the purple by itself just didn't look right, but after mixing it with that blue, it kind of melted all of those hues together. And everything I do to this design, I am also doing to the middle finger spiral design. So adding some of that Chiara Sky and blue polish mixture to the spiral. Now moving on to one of my favorite nails out of the whole entire set, this other mother needle hand. I wanted it to look just like her hand in the movie when she's holding up the button eye with her nails. I just think that looks so sickening. So I wanted to emulate it as best as possible. Did really light brush strokes with that black polish. And I'm going over it with the Mizshe silver liner. This is such a lifesaver, you guys. If you cannot do isolated chrome, I totally recommend this product. And I think it came out really, really good for detail work like on this specific nail. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, you will see me bounce back to these spiral nails just because there's so much curing and layering that has to go into them for them to be as 3D as I want them to be at the end. So you'll just see me pop in there every now and then. Okay, one of the best parts, it's picking out the gems. Here I have some kind of like midnight blue flat back, just regular rhinestones. Then I have some more royal blue different shapes with like stars and ovals for the spiral design. I want it to look kind of like the tunnel that Coraline goes through when she's entering the other world, just really trippy and just super blue and pretty and sparkly. You can see me, even though it's out of focus, adding some of these rhinestones to the almost like frame around the other mother hand, and then adding in a miniature 3D black button in the middle. I think it came out so cute. And over on the right hand, everything is looking pretty identical except for this pink palace nail, which I put the little black cat on there and making sure he has his blue eyes. And now here I am going in with some 3D squeeze gel for our spiral to make sure it's extra 3D. And here is little eyes, so cute. And then trigger warning, this is kind of a hard watch. I'm trying to do some sort of like doily or like lace design around the smile line of the French, and it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. So I ended up taking the approach of just lining that smile line with white and then dotting little white dots around it. Still didn't really come out exactly how I wanted, but whatever. Next I'm taking some 3D white Gawain gel, 3D gel. It kind of reminds me of Sculpey, and I'm just gonna make the 3 missing eyes for the ghost children. It'll be red, black, and silver. And again, not to be too negative, but I really just did not like the way that that specific design came out with the stripes, so I'm really happy that I covered it, most of it, with the 3D gel. And then I formed a little key, or I'm trying to form a key, button key for this middle finger spiral. Once I liked the shape, I went in with some black CANNI gel just to color that in, and then also color in the eyes. And like I mentioned earlier, I absolutely love this Mizshe detail liquid liner. I have it in gold and silver, and they're both so stunning. Just make sure you shake the bottle before you use them and they'll come out extremely mirror effect, not glittery or chunky at all. The last thing I'm sculpting with that 3D gel is a nice and sharp needle. I will go over it with that Mizshe silver liner again, but right now I'm drawing a little thread. I wish I would have done it a little bit thinner. It looks kind of thick, kind of like hair, but it's supposed to be a needle and thread for this nail. I love how thin and dainty the needle is, and just to accentuate it, I'm just adding some little rhinestones in the corner. We are finally nearing the end. Just to clean up the spiral as much as possible, I did take some black gel liner and just line around that spiral. Here I am going in with some top coat for all of the nails. And here are the finished nails. I absolutely love the way they came out. I think they really pop. They're super 3D, in your face, cartoon-like, whimsical, everything I wanted them to be. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!